What is popping YouTube?
Hi YouTube. Um, yeah, I'm here for now.
This is your
I'm gonna
shit.
do. I'm
I'm
gonna
letting
start doing
you.
some more. I'm doing. This is my stuff. So one of my hi. If you guys don't know, I'm DJ. I'm the one of the people on the name of the channel. I've been very busy with in real life stuff. I haven't really been able to do much with the channel, but for now, I have some free time. I really want to indulge on something that me and Kenji have been talking about me doing now for a few months. One of my passions is movies and TV, and I love talking about them. I've roped Mr. Kenji here to watch some of them, and we are going to talk about probably the most prominent one out of the ones we've watched, and that is All American. Uh, 10 out of 10 show, would recommend. And we are going to talk about the show by ranking some of the main characters in the show. How about it? This is going to be
Uh,
fun for you.
yeah, this is gonna be
You're going to hear
very
us disagree
interesting.
about You're going to hear us disagree about stuff. For the most part, we have the same general mindset about the show. Um at its core, like one of its like background, at its core originally was about football. Now football like the black people. But I mean, it's still great. So yeah. All
Yeah,
right. So you want to get started? But let's
yeah.
start off with the series main character, Spencer
The
James.
$1 million man, Spencer James, whom the actual football player this is based off of. Uh,
Yeah, this show is based off
no
a true story.
disrespect,
Um,
no disrespect to the actual athlete. Like you made it to the NFL, that's big, but he wasn't a super like anything crazy in the NFL. He has a
yeah,
Super Bowl ring,
like yeah, he has a Super Bowl ring. So
but
Spencer
I was
James is our
expecting him
main
to be like
character,
a much more
Superman.
interesting player.
Yeah.
I was expecting like some like elite level player. I don't know if he'll be a Hall of
Yeah.
Famer. Honestly, probably not. But he had a decent NFL
So
career and ring, so
so
props
so
to the
Spencer
actual
James
person.
is a incredibly interesting character to me because I don't know how to rank
Extraordinarily.
them. Um, okay, I want to talk about like before like anything, before I kind of go into it. Spencer has a hero complex. His hero
A
complex
hundred
is
percent. He is Captain
his hero
Save-A-Ho.
complex. Oh, and I should have mentioned this earlier. Spoiler alert: we're gonna be talking about things that
Massive
happen
spoiler
throughout
alert for like
the entire series.
the entire show.
The entire
If you're not
series.
caught up, please do not watch.
Yeah, we're gonna just like spoil everything from 1 to 5. So, but Spencer is a character whose hero complex, in a lot of cases, is his biggest savior and downfall. To me, his hero complex is one of the reasons why he got shot. Um, so to kind of give a background to Spencer, he is a man who's essentially grown up in the hood. His father is like gone. It's him, his mother, and his brother. He gets this opportunity from a coach in Beverly Hills to become just like this star football player because he's already the best player
Illegally.
on his team. Yeah, illegally. They do some shady shit to kind of back it up. And Spencer essentially wins the team a state title. He goes
That
back
nigga
home to
carried.
Crenshaw. He essentially he goes back home to Crenshaw when he realizes, hey, you know, I'm doing a disservice to my home, and they're especially when they're about to get like destroyed and turn into a um just a to like a straight education school, a school that's built on
Nah, yeah, I just realized
education.
they don't have the fucking principal nigga here. Principal Carter,
Uh,
or whatever his name is.
he doesn't become. Yeah, Carter. We can talk about him later. Um,
He okay. Yeah,
Spencer.
he got phased out of season 5, but season like 3, 4, was he in 2?
No, season 3 and 4. Um, the thing about Carter, well, we can talk about Carter later because we talk about Carter when we get to Mama James. Um, because
True,
that is
she
her
is his better
husband.
half.
Um,
Well, Mama James is anyone's better half.
so
Trust the goat.
Spencer in the series goes through a lot of problems. One, he has massive daddy issues.
So much
And like
daddy
that
issues.
prolongs to it, and that like prolongs until the very end of his dad's life. Like when his dad like comes back in, he disappears again, and then they re-find him after he realizes that he's just about to die, and he's like, I don't want to put people through that. But also,
It'll
um,
come up when
we're
we
gonna
get to
talk about
another character. His daddy issues will come up when we get to another character. Or do we want to just talk about it
but
now?
I want to talk about. So I want to kind of talk about Spencer for a
Let's wait
long
till
time. To me,
let's
was like
wait
a
till we get to
god,
Jordan. Let's wait till we get to Jordan and then talk about it.
Jordan and Layla. Um, Spencer for a long time was a god tier character. Was a low god tier character, but I think his actions and behavior in season 5 really pushed him down to great for me. Um,
Yeah.
he's he's not his yeah, okay. I'm gonna stand by this for people who like seen the show and know what's going on. His actions, yes, are incredibly warranted. Dude, I'm not gonna deny that. The way he acted in season 5 was
He was going through it.
perfectly fine. He was going through it, but it was the way he dealt with his actions by essentially just like pushing everybody away. He and he almost ruined his shot at football at playing. He almost like ruined his football career. Um, and like his therapist literally had to search him out and be like, "What is up with you, motherfucker?" And and it was just so weird. So I'm gonna personally put Spencer in Grape. I'm gonna let Kenji give his little speech on Spencer and what he thinks about him.
Look, I love Spencer. He's great. But like his Captain Save-A-Ho tendencies got really, really bad as the show went on. And in season 5, it kind of got to. Actually, no, season 4 was his peak Captain Save-A-Ho. Um, and also,
Yeah,
God, Spencer, for a ladies' man, you don't know how to treat a lady well. Like, god
bro plays with
damn, dude.
emotions too much. We will get to Layla later. We will get to Layla
Dog, he
later.
played Layla, Olivia, what's her name? The one that left, the one that he rebounded with Olivia with in season 5 and
Yeah,
4.
we'll get to. He has a problem not knowing how to deal with others'
Yeah,
emotions,
he
and
does
like he
not
willfully,
know.
at the very least, he willfully acknowledges it like multiple times. He like tells people like I played with emotions and it bit me in
Well,
the butt. So he like willfully acknowledges it, but still.
look, I have to go through. No matter what show, there's always one character I have to do this with. If anyone in this show is autistic, Spencer is like the autistic one, but not like the super autistic one, but autistic in the way of like he can't read emotion. He can read emotions well when it's with others, but when it's with him specifically, he's kind of horrible at reading people's emotions. Because like autistic people can actually be really good at detecting people's emotions and social cues when it's not happening directly to them. And that's high key Spencer to a T. But I love Spencer. But
Yeah,
season 5 knocked him down a bunch. And I get it. I went through the exact same thing in season 5. I've been to where he
when
was.
season right after season 5 came out, I went through a similar situation with myself. I understood his behavior, but it didn't make it like any less
Okay.
acceptable.
So I will also put him
Yeah,
in great tier, but I still love the nigga. He's like, look,
he's
if
a
there's
good
one
main
person,
character.
he's a goated main character, and like also don't fuck with him in a fight. He's the person in this show I want to fuck with in a fight the least, because this man, he will flatten your ass out on God. Out of anyone in the show, he will put your ass on the floor the fastest. Like, I
Yeah,
remember that fucking big ass fight between the two teams. Um, and in the beginning of the show, he was all constantly in like a 1v2 and still held his own.
it was all like just fighting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we made mention of Spencer's hero complex and how, in a lot of cases, that complex of his gets him in trouble.
Yo, we got
Gets
Hero
him and
Complex
others in
1
trouble.
with Spencer, Hero Complex 2 with Coop. These niggas are P2Ps in a pod. They both trying to save
Yes,
everyone.
but I want to talk about.
And the crazy thing
So
is,
Coop's hero
Coop
complex.
and Spencer often clash or both often act for each other. Like the first like 3 seasons was
There,
pretty
it,
much just
there,
Coop
there's a reason why
and
they're best
Spencer's
friends.
hero complex acting up for each other, and like all the drama coming from that.
There's a reason why they're best friends, which is why when they were like beefing with each other about like just like some like the more random stuff when they were beefing, it overall made sense why they would have like this stranglehold between each other. Because I mean, Coop was correct in the fact that Spencer tries a bit too hard to tries a bit too hard to make everybody in an ideal situation, and Coop was in like Spencer got shot. Spencer got shot, and when he went to his therapist basically made him blame Coop. Um, he basically made him blame Coop, and it put a strain in the relationship for a good bit of time. I think to like mid season 4, like when they graduated, right?
Yeah, they're kind of just
Huh.
separating each other. I think Coop was also like,
Because I mean,
because to be fair, Coop did have a Coop's actions is what got Spencer shot. Like Coop dealing with like
Coop trying to like Coop trying to bring down Tyrone after um
Spencer left.
what's his name?
Oh, after Cam
Well
died,
after what's his name died.
Cam.
I don't think his name wasn't Cam.
I thought it was. I don't know.
No.
But whenever
But after the character died, which they did, which was so funny because when Kenji was first watching the show, the character we're talking about dies in like episode 4 or 5. When he first dies,
no.
Kenji's like, I heard the Boys to Men music, so Boys in the Hood music. He's like, this bro about to die.
No, because he was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get out the hood. I'm like, oh, he's packed
Like, yeah,
up.
I'm gonna move to Louisiana with my daughter. We're gonna live a good life. And he
I'm
hears
like,
the
oh.
boys. He's like, I hear the Boys in the Hood music. Is this bro about to die?
I'm
But
like, oh man, he's about to get out the hood. He's like, oh yeah, I'm turning my life around. Homeboy finna
Sean,
die.
that's his name.
Sean.
Sean.
That's what it was.
But
But yeah, and then
but
Sean
when
kind of got
Sean dies,
forgotten about until season 5. After that, like he was talked about like season
kind of
2, but then season 5 he got
Sean
brought up
when
again.
Sean died, Coop joined Tyrone's
Tyrone,
gang to like get inside for him to trust her and
get
um
him back.
to basically tear down
Wait, I just
Tyrone's
realized
enterprise.
Preach isn't on here.
Uh, we can talk about. Preach is
We talk about
a
Preach
god tier
next.
character. He's a great guy.
Preach is a
Um,
god tier character. He is a goat. When he first got introduced,
um,
I wasn't sure how his character was gonna end up.
but I mean,
Uh,
he became the person that Coop needed at her most time of need, and stayed
he
that
really was
person.
Coop's rock for real, for real, and also just a goat in general. We could
Yeah,
talk about Preach a
like
bit
his
more
work at
when
the
we talk
school,
about Coach Baker. Him and Coach Baker's
his work at the school
friendship
and everything.
was like was top
So
tier. I love
we'll
Preach.
talk about Coach Baker.
Honestly,
Uh,
I
we'll
think
talk about Coach
Preach
Baker.
might be my favorite character that's not like of the main cast.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
Preach is easily the best
But
character that's not of the main cast.
I want to put Coop in like low great, because I mean, Coop
Yeah.
has this like tendency to not acknowledge her flaws,
Also,
acknowledge her flaws, especially.
Coop with patience towards the end of season 5 was Coop in season 4 and 5 with the whole patient stuff kind of pissed me off.
Coop doesn't know what she wants, because she was also dating that grandma's daughter, or granddaughter,
Yeah.
that she help out with. Coop,
You know what? Shout out to
okay,
this show for having lesbians that I don't despise.
Coop is Coop. It has like a lust for love, but doesn't know how to deal with it.
And doesn't know how to
I think
love.
Coop is a yeah, I think Coop is a great character. They have their like big flaws. Patient calls her out on her flaws multiple times, and Coop just like kind of doesn't acknowledge it, and doesn't acknowledge them until it's like really too late. And then when they broke up and they kind of stayed friends because they were living together in the same house with Layla and Olivia, they kind of like managed to stay friends, and it was awkward and weird, and uh, yeah. I think she's like low grade. Um, Coop does a lot of good things, but her bad things really do kind of stick out. I do like the character direction they are taking her though. After she like lost her rap career, she's now like trying to work with Mama Baker, and get like her law degree and stuff like that, because she has a lust to help people. She has like this want to help people, and I think her becoming a lawyer is like going to be a really good thing for her.
Seasons of All American are
Yeah.
there supposed to be?
Five, six hasn't started yet.
No, I know, but like, do they? Is season 6 the last one? Do they know how many seasons they're
We don't
going?
know. They don't know.
Okay,
They haven't
because I know
announced
Cobra
season six as
Kai's
like the
next
final
season is the
season.
last one.
Is the last
So
one, but that's because Cobra Kai story. I mean, they're kind of dragging it at this point, but I love it. Um,
it's
all
alright.
right. Next, so yeah, you agree with kind of like low grade.
Yeah, I just have Coop and Great tier for now. We'll as we
We'll
start
revisit
filling
some of
out the
these
Great tier, we'll determine the order of the tier. Next week, okay, should we do all the bakers at
next.
once?
Yeah, we can do all the
Wait,
Bakers at once. Next, we got the
Jordan
bad bitch
Baker.
getter himself, Jordan motherfucking Baker.
I'm not gonna lie. The later seasons did a lot for his character. Actually,
Early
no.
Jordan was
Simone did
a
a lot for his character.
early Jordan was like kind of a douche. He
Kind of. He
he
was a
definitely
douche. He was a big douche.
he definitely I'm saying he wasn't as much of a douche as early Asher and early JJ. Um, but he was a douche.
JJ wasn't really a
Um,
douche to Spencer, actually.
yeah, he was a
Asher
douche.
was just kind of
I think
racist.
most of them were.
Asher kind of just a
Um,
racist.
but we'll get to Asher. We will get to Asher. what a character change. But Jordan is a very good
He also
character.
has
I
daddy
think
issues
he has massive daddy issues that are,
because
I'm not gonna say it.
when
I'm not
not
gonna
to
say
go
anything.
into too much right now, but for context, Coach Baker, Jordan Baker's dad, he was a football player, and he was an
Yeah.
NFL player, and he was in football. So Coach Baker loves football, and then
And
in the
Jordan
show,
pushed himself to be a good football player.
yeah, pretty much for the first like 2 or 3 seasons of the show,
It's him trying to
um,
constantly impress his father on the
yeah,
football field.
Coach Baker's greatest loves for the first like 2 to 3 seasons of the show was football and Spencer James.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's funny to me.
I'm
But
not
I mean,
wrong.
it's true.
And
It's
so
true.
Jordan, who is you know, Coach Baker's actual son, also in the beginning, they're also in the first like season, 1 or 2 seasons, I don't remember how long, but there was a plot line that Coach Baker might be Spencer James's
It
dad.
was all season one.
It
It
was
was
all
all in
season
season
one.
one, and it comes out because, I mean, Coach Baker, Billy Baker, did cheat on his mom
Mama Baker was Spencer
after.
James's mom,
Yeah.
and then there was like, oh, he's giving money to Spencer's mom, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
bunch of
And
stuff that seemed kind of shady, and they're like,
like
oh, is
we'll
Coach
get
Baker
more
Spencer
into
James'
detail when
dad?
we'll get more into detail when we get to Coach Baker. Um, when we get to Coach Baker, but Jordan kind of takes advantage of his father and his like need to be like a good father. He kind of like pushes the line. You kind of see it when Jordan like starts to like end practice early and stuff like that. When like he's pissed off at his dad, and his dad is kind of like being soft on him because he wants to get back in his good graces. In his good graces, that Jordan kind of like takes advantage of that. But Jordan meets Simone, gets Simone. Jordan has sex with Simone at what's his birthday party that they weren't supposed to have. Um, and she comes back pregnant. Comes back pregnant, and like there's like a complete character shift for Jordan because it makes him like realize his ways, and he starts to become a bit more like responsible and more respectable as a character and a player. And he also has a situation where he has like this injury, a concussion, that he forces himself back from like way too early because he's
Darnell?
jealous of how good no JJ
Oh,
because
Asher.
JJ he was
I mean JJ.
no yeah, he was too jealous of JJ of how well he was playing quarterback with the team, despite the fact that he actively helped JJ become better as a quarterback by being like, "Don't try to be me, just be you." AKA just be
He
Kyler
was
Murray,
trying to
bitch.
help him be a
Um,
good backup quarterback, but once he became a starter, he's like,
but
nah, that's my job.
and he rushes himself back, and then he takes one too hard hit, and it was over. It was over, and there was a
Damn,
whole
an
big
All American
controversy.
player and rushing back too fast from an injury, that's a match made in heaven. I think all of them
And
have done
then,
that actually. I think Spencer,
uh,
JJ, Asher, and Jordan have all done that.
yeah, um, Jordan also,
Especially
but yeah,
especially
Jordan
Asher, but we'll get into
has
him.
had his moments. Has had his moments. I think Jordan has been at his best in late season 4 and throughout season 5 when he got together with Layla because Layla's like the first girl that like Simone was kind of like sprinkled on a bit, but Layla's like the first girl where he's really like keyed in on not messing up anything, not messing it up because he's in love with her, deeply in love with her and wants to be with her. One of his downfalls with his relationship with Simone was his insecurities about her being in a completely different state, going to an going to a college where he can't like intimidate people and stuff like that around her. But with Layla, he's become much more grounded, and it's been like actually pretty beneficial for his character. To me, he's like bordering. He's a great character. We keep putting characters in great. He is a great character, possibly god tier, depending on how the season 6 goes. But also key thing, bro is a bro's about to get married for the second time. He's like 19. Um,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my god. Fucking Jordan, I want to marry you, Baker. This nigga
bro,
really
bro like bro got married the first time at 17 to his pregnant
pregnant
girlfriend
baby mama.
in Vegas of all places. And at the very end of season 5, he proposes to Layla when they've been like officially dating now for
But like,
probably less than 4 months. But like they've known each other since they were like 4, so it's like weird. But
yeah,
still,
it.
I and
Dude,
the funny
Jordan,
part about it is,
that shit's hella funny.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna work out.
It probably
Like
is.
him and Layla getting married is probably going to work out because I mean they're meant for each other essentially. But
Oh my god, dude. I forgot about Jordan. Jordan's tendency to just like fucking jump the gun and marry a bitch hella fast. Oh my
yeah,
god, Jordan. Jordan is a great character, honestly. Like, first couple of seasons he was kind of meh, but college was great for him and his character. Or Simone was great for him and his character. And then college was also another great jump. He was a good older brother. He was truly a brother to Spencer. He
him
was
and
really
Spencer are
good.
like best friends and they're brother. Like they that's how you that's how I mean it's our relationship.
Yeah, they may beef
Brothers
with
from
each
another
other.
mother.
Jordan may have gotten his ass handed to him by Spencer that one time, but they still homies. They still
When he
brothers.
when can't he talks back and just
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god,
I mean
DJ. I
brothers
don't.
fight literally,
Honestly, DJ, if
but
you could edit in a fight, you should edit it in here. You should edit in that fight. Download it
okay,
onto your laptop.
okay,
Be like,
okay.
yeah,
Wait, so Jordan, great. Okay, here's the first character that's not going in great. Lay Olivia Baker.
Olivia, Olivia Baker. God,
Uh,
she, okay, look,
let's get this out of the way.
we're not
She's
sexist.
Spencer's girlfriend. We're not
We're
sexist.
not
She is
sexist. We're
Spencer's
about to go on a
girlfriend.
tear onto her, but we're not sexist. I like her, but
We
God, this woman.
we both like her, but she had her season 4 and season 5 are such a bad character. Okay, we can kind of start running it down. I think like the first like major thing that happened with Olivia's character was when they were like doing a shadow of the I forget her name, but All American does a really big thing in showing what's happening in the real world of Black America, and
Yeah,
they
they
did
had
a
like Nipsey
parody.
Hussle's death. They had an episode on that.
Yeah, like they had like their own like they made their own situation of I forget her name, who got shot
Breonna
for
Taylor?
sleeping on the side of the road. The black woman, Breonna Taylor. No, wait, no, Breonna
No,
Taylor got
that
shot
she
in her
wasn't
home.
shot for sleeping on the side of the road. That was the police entering her house and shooting her.
No, there was one black woman in real life who got shot for sleeping on the side of the road, and she like wouldn't get out of her car because she was asleep, and the police got overly aggressive. they had a mirror of that in the show, and okay, mind you, both Jordan and Layla's mom is white.
Olivia.
Jordan, their mom, Olivia, Jesus, Olivia's mom is white. Their mother is the DA in the
Yeah.
show,
So
and
for reference, since
and Olivia
I'm not
was
sharing my screen, but I'm the one. I'm not sharing my screen to DJ. I'm the one recording it. Um I'm circling Mama Baker. Uh, she is this
yeah,
white woman here. She's a lovely lady, but at the time she was the
she's awesome.
DA.
She
She
was a
was the
DA,
DA,
and
and honestly, she was hella clutch in the
she
early
was working
seasons.
on
She made sure these motherfuckers stayed out
behind the
of
scene.
jail.
She's a great lawyer. She's a great
She's a
lawyer,
great
but
lawyer.
behind the
Honestly, if
scene,
I need a lawyer,
behind
I'm
the
calling
scenes,
her. Fuck Saul Goodman. Fuck that
yeah,
Harvey nigga you were talking about. I'm calling Mama Baker. She's getting me out free.
behind the scenes, she was actively working to get cops to speak out against these other officers, who did this awful thing to this black woman, and Olivia was getting frustrated at the fact that her mom wasn't like being more vocal about it, and her mom was like, Olivia, please stop. I got things handled. And Olivia just like wasn't believing her. So Olivia goes on her mom's computer and
Oh,
finds like the
by the way, real
audio
quick,
recording
hold
or
on.
video.
Hold on. I need to explain. So look, I love Olivia, but she is the epitome of that one girl you know that like has a social media blog and a podcast. It's like, yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna make
my
a real
god.
change.
Yeah, so she has a
But here's
podcast.
this, hey,
It's
props to Olivia. She does actually,
yeah,
she's actually successful in her thing, but
yes.
to what
But
DJ, I'll let DJ
she
continue
goes and
explaining
takes
it.
this recording. She goes and takes this recording and just
That's
posts it for the
legal
world to see.
evidence. That is evidence,
Literal
like
legal
not
evidence.
released to the public.
And and so when it gets leaked, Mama Mama Baker, she gets a phone call. She gets a phone call from her mom. She gets a phone call from her her campaign person, because she's like still kind of like campaigning to re-up as DA, and says, "Look what just leaked." She turns on the TV. It's the video, and she's like screaming, "How did it get out?" And Olivia like walks in and goes, "I did it." And Mama Baker goes, "What did you don't understand what you did?" And Olivia's like, "No, I put the truth out there, unlike you." And when I first saw it, I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Oh, yeah, that was
And she
frustrating.
lets her mother get painted out as like the racist DA, which to me is like some of the most weirdest shit to me, because she married a black man and has two black children. Like,
Also,
and
like for real, like Mama Baker is not racist. That woman is down for the
she let
cause.
Spencer in her home.
Yeah, like she let
She let
Spencer in
Spencer
her
into.
home. Like she was very okay, like, and like with Spencer, like when Spencer was like trying, no, yeah, because yeah, at this point Spencer had been trying to like do stuff for Beverly, and Mama Baker has been there helping him and Coop.
Like, and Coop, like there were things that she was doing that clearly shows that she was trying to do something, and you put it out into the world, and like the very next episode,
Like
Liv is
shit,
in house arrest,
and
essentially.
it's like kind of
Essentially, she's in
hypocritical
house arrest,
because like Olivia
and
has
her
used the
mom's
fact that
can't
her mom's white to her advantage.
to like get her out of situations, and then so she's basically in house arrest, and Mama Baker is campaign attorney, helper, goes by her house to grab her things because she's been locked up in the DA's office trying to fix this thing. And she basically looks at Olivia and goes, "How how lucky you are to be just this out of the loop." And she's like, "What? My mom wasn't doing anything." And she goes, "You realize you don't understand that your mom was going to other police officers who knew these officers as dirty cops to get them to testify on the stand to as dirty cops, that they were dirty cops, risking their entire positioning in the police structure for all this to happen." And Olivia sat there and well, why didn't she tell me? Because she can't legally. And Olivia
Yeah, that was
instantly
frustrating.
instantly felt super bad. And he's like, "Well, what can I do?" And the campaign lawyer was like, "You can't do anything. You already fucked everything up." And I'm just like,
you've already done enough.
God,
You
and that's
can't do. At this point, the best thing you can do
and
is just sit
that
down and shut up.
situation, that's situation number one. We haven't even got into her whole little article in season 2, in season 4 and 5. God, well, that's it's one. I'm gonna spill the beans where I even talk about the second situation. She's a good character, bordering F, because of how she acts. What pulls her out of F was her season 1 is the best character in the show, and after she
Yeah.
broke up with Asher, everything went down the hill.
Here's the thing.
And in
Olivia
season 4 and 5,
Olivia is actually
season 4 and 5, she realizes she wants to be a journalist.
Character. Olivia is a good character in the story in terms of she's a good friend. She's Spencer's rock for the most part. She's pretty reliable, but the writing for her character is so weird because she has good things, but then honestly, I blame the writers on this for for more than anything, because the writers just write down that that she will be stubborn and believe wholehearted. The biggest character flaw with Olivia is that she's stubborn, and
Yes.
she's like Spencer. Her and Spencer both have the same character flaw in that they're stubborn and will not believe that their way isn't the correct way. However, the difference between Spencer and Olivia is that Olivia's actions have far more negative ramifications than anyone else's in the shows. The negative ramifications for Olivia's actions affect the entire show versus only affect Spencer stuff affecting a couple of characters.
Spencer and Jordan go to the same college to play D1 football.
So her brother
and her boyfriend at the time
are at this college thing.
She goes on to start attacking the team's star quarterback because he did something she didn't like. And then
I don't remember
Spencer
exactly.
And Jordan
I don't remember exactly what he did.
But when Spencer and Jordan finally start getting into some type of good standing with the team,
slightly, I think he did something morally wrong, something shady.
Wrong, but nothing that should have warranted a full-on attack out of her. And she starts going after this dude.
Before someone in the comments says "Oh, you two are just sexist men, blah blah blah. You're defending other men." No, I will admit
you're gonna hear us gush about Mama Baker and Mama James. You're gonna hear us gush about them, but
and Olivia is And then Olivia's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna write this article about him," and then they catch some flack. But then, um, you know, she starts thinking that the coach is like kind of sus and like is doing shady
Yeah,
shit, and like,
and
and so she's working with Coach
for me,
Baker because she's asking Coach Baker
what
like,
really
"Hey,
like
I
tipped
think
me
this is
over the
shady.
edge about that
He's
whole
doing
entire
stuff."
situation, what really tipped me out over the edge is when both Jordan, Olivia, and even Coach Baker, who was
Yeah. So wait,
helping
hold
her,
on, DJ. Let me
tells
explain.
her, tells her
Wait, hold
what?
on. Let me actually explain what is going on. So, the coach, he's like, he's telling certain dudes like, hey, he basically they're doing bounty game, like straight up. The coach is doing bounty game. Like he's telling everybody, like, hey, yo,
If you don't know what Bounty Gate
target
is,
him.
you don't know what Bounty Gate is. It's when a coach tells a player to
Like, I'll
specifically
give you a
attack a
scholarship.
player and get them
Take that
injured
nigga out.
and get them
Hurt
injured.
him.
Yeah,
Like injure that motherfucker. Hurt him.
yeah, like
And
that's what Bounty
so
Gate is. It's a terrible,
Olivia,
terrible thing. Never should go
horrible
on.
thing. Horrible thing. And Olivia is right for like writing a story about it, but Coach Baker is like, "Yo, here's the thing. We have to do this in a certain way, and we have to do it so that
It
like we
doesn't
have to do it in
ruin
a
your
certain way to
brother and
guarantee.
boyfriend's football career.
Well, yeah, we have to guarantee that one, we actually get him out, and two, we get him out in a way that doesn't drag, that doesn't implode the entire program with him, because they've realized at this point that like he's the only one, um, like the coach is the only one doing it, not the entire program. So they have to get enough evidence so that they don't they can out specifically the coach and not drag the entire program down into the depths of hell. And so what Olivia
And she like
does,
essentially like forces one of these players, not forces them, but like gets one of these players, like pressures him into talking about the situation. And like when he's like, I'll do it anonymously, she's like, but if you do it anonymously, it won't hold the same weight if you put your name out there. And it was like, come on.
yeah, and
And
also
like
it's
also
just
she
crazy
didn't even
because
put
like
her name out there.
Jordan, Spencer, and Coach Baker were like, look, we get that you have a story, and we're not saying don't release it, just don't release it yet. Everything's not ready. We need to be 100% sure. She says, okay, and then releases it early, anyways. And then
And there's
it
that whole
plummets.
situation where she was like getting pissed at Spencer for quote unquote mansplaining when it was more her just being pissy about the fact that
She
they just
really
broke up.
said, she really said, are you trying to mansplain to me how to,
Talk to a football player who's dealing with trauma.
which is
Talk to a black man dealing with trauma.
which is all crazy to say to Spencer at the time, because at this point he's lost his best friend, his dad, um, like he's lost a lot of shit in his
He's
life. He's gotten shot for this
if
woman.
anybody knows how to help, if anybody knows how to tell you how to deal with black men who probably have built up trauma, it's
It's
Spencer.
Spencer J. And also, like, he's communicating
So
with football
it's
players. Like, he knows how to talk to football players about like their trauma and stuff. I'm like, that's crazy. I can't believe you said that one to him.
it's like above all, Olivia is a good character. I think she is Spencer's like better half. Like she's the one that Spencer needs to be with. But also it's like, damn, bro, like you do so like you do so much to make people not want to like you. And it's so frustrating to see it happen that way. I
Yeah,
wish I just wish she wasn't the way she was sometimes. I love her as a character. I think she's a good character. I think
She's a
she's good.
great character.
She's good.
She just makes. She has like two big moments that are just like
Drag her
super bad for her
down.
character.
Like Spencer and Jordan spend most of season 5 essentially rebuilding the football team from the ground up because Olivia decided to publish the article and like which would essentially ruin the entire football program. And
Yeah,
basically the entire team left because
and then she gets
they
mad
didn't
at
want to do
Spencer
anything about
and
it.
Jordan for being mad at her. Like
And so it's
you, like
uh,
I love Olivia's character, but she makes certain
she's a
actions that are just
she's
like
a great character. She's a great
very,
character, but
very
her
irritating.
actions just drag them down. But
Now
like at
we,
at the very last scene of season 5, her and Spencer get back together as she's going to Europe. Um, oh, fun fact: Spencer's actor is British, and he spends a
oh yeah,
portion of season 5 faking British, even though he's already British.
no. Okay, so season 5 was him in his normal tone of speaking of British, making up British fake British words. Like they call that a crimpy
Yeah,
biscuit or whatever, and it was hella funny because I'm like,
it was really
his
funny.
his
All right,
actor
let's get
is
into
really
Mama. All right,
all
let's
right.
get into Mama Baker, who is God tier. Um,
Easily. I'm just gonna put her there immediately. Um, we'll talk about her, of
she's God.
course, but that's her
We're
spot.
talking about her. She's God tier. Um, one, she's
Spoiler
for the
alert:
culture. Married a
all the
black
moms in
man.
this tier are god tier.
Oh, yeah. Spoil. For number one, she's for the culture. She married a
She really
black man.
is.
Had black twins. Had black twins. Oh, I didn't. Oh, we didn't mention that. Yeah, Jordan and Olivia are twins. Um.
Oh yeah, they are
Yeah.
twins. Jordan is the
Um.
slightly older one.
Yeah. Slight. Also another shout out. If you guys want to look into more All American like funny things, look up the All American uh actors reading thirsty tweets. Great
That's
video.
hella
Hilarious
funny.
video.
Hella funny,
Hilarious
dude.
video. Period. Okay. Off track. Alma Baker, she's for the culture, married a black man, but also, she was a great mother at what had to been quite possibly the hardest point in her life when she found out that her husband cheated on her around the time that her children were born or were conceived. She stayed a great mother and she stood her ground around Billy, being like, I I I don't know the man that you are anymore. I don't know if you're still the man that I fell in love with, despite the fact that yes, he was, but this major flaw, this major like thing that happened can warp your perception of somebody and how after he did it, I mean, he spent like 16, 17 years basically hiding it. And
Yeah.
so
Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with you. Mama Baker deserved to move. Mama Baker deserved to move on to someone
move
else.
on. She deserved to move on. She deserved to, do something else. But I think her biggest quality was how, like I said, how she standed her ground during the entire situation where Billy was out of the house because he cheated. He got out the house. Everybody was pissed. She was clearly like flustered, like uh Jordan and Layla kind of like talk about it, like Olivia kind of like talk about it, like, hey, you mom, are you okay? And she's like, I'm fine. She's like clearly masking something, but like they can't necessarily just like talk about it and can't like necessarily just like talk about the elephant in the room. And she like handles Jordan getting arrested pretty well by just like straight up yelling at him, which I mean was the correct response. Um, because Jordan was acting out significantly more than Olivia was. Um, he totaled his own car as well. No, he totaled Olivia's car after he got his car taken away. Um, but she like did all that she needed to do, and then when it came like back to her getting back with Billy, I think she was like the all-star in the therapy scene, in the therapy episode before the Bakers, because she she went in there wanting to like forgive Billy and love Billy again, but she
She's
didn't
a
like
very forgiving
full
lady.
she didn't fully know how to do it because she still okay. It was very clear she still was in love with Billy. She was still very much so in love with her and wanted to make their marriage work, but she didn't know how to do it. And Billy basically admitting all his faults and sitting there admitting all his faults was like kind of like put her on the path like okay, we can maybe work this out. And I think I think she is a great, fantastic character, fantastic mother. And I think the biggest like thing that like puts her in God tier is during that entire situation when Coach Baker cheats, where like they find out Coach Baker cheated. Spencer wasn't like going to their house. He was traveling all the way from Crenshaw to Beverly, and some high school news outlets were picking up on that. And and Jordan kind of makes mention of it to his mom, and she was like, "Wait, what?" And she goes to Crenshaw and tells Spencer, "Hey, this situation doesn't have anything to do with you, and you are collateral damage in something that you shouldn't have to be. So come live with us again." And to me,
Yeah.
that was like the moment I'm like, praise, praise. You're not making children, teenagers collateral damage in a situation between adults. Like,
That's great. You
awesome. I,
love to
I
see it.
loved her. I loved her for it. So that was like the
She's a,
moment. But overall,
she was
and
also a
she doesn't
great,
like do much in the
like
series.
almost mother figure to Coop.
Yeah, she doesn't like do a ton in general in the series, but like the things that she does in the series really makes her a standout good character. I mean,
Look,
she moved to Crenshaw and opened a law firm in Crenshaw that's essentially allowing her to help people who can't afford great help from lawyers.
yeah, and here's the thing, Mama Baker, she's not like, she's supporting. She's the she is like her and Mama Jane are the two rocks and pillars of this show. Um, Now mind you, Mama Baker is or yeah, Mama Baker isn't perfect. She's had her moments of being like kind of but like her positive vastly outweigh. Like she is honestly a great mother for the most part. Both the Baker parents were kind of soft at the beginning of the series, but over time they've gotten, a bit more of like a backbone and like, all right, look, I'ma stand my ground. This is I'm stand my ground. This is what we do. You know, like I'm
Yeah,
putting my foot down as a parent. I'm not gonna let you walk all over me. You know, she's
yeah,
grown
she
throughout the
was,
series. She was great. Um, she is
and
truly strong for what happened in season 5. Um,
yeah,
like she
she's
held it down.
a great character.
Uh, I feel honestly, she after certain things that happened in season 5, she's the one who I felt the most bad about. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I felt bad for everyone else, but I felt bad for Mama Baker the most.
and we're about to
Be-
talk about that whole situation because we're about to get into Billy Baker, who
Billy motherfucking Baker. I He is. Oh God, he is the most perfect imperfect man ever. He has his flaws, but he's a great
I
man.
I think like the biggest thing about Billy. I think the biggest thing about Billy, for me personally,
He loves the kids. He loves each and every one of these
he is
kids like they're his
so
own.
he like early on he has this like this situation, and he has like these situations that like painting him out to be a bad guy, like smoked weed when Jordan smoked weed and he admitted to his father because they were doing a drug test. He swapped out Jordan's pee sample with his own so that they could so he could pass the test. But as like the series goes on, he overall his character becomes, I'm doing this because I love these kids. And I think the definition of that was when he was trying to become the new principal of Crenshaw
Yeah.
after Carter left. Mama Baker Mama Baker was like pushing back. Mama James was pushing back on him becoming the principal of Crenshaw because she thought he was just gonna up and leave the moment he got the opportunity to. Which I mean, he kind of did, but also he retracted it just about immediately when he like saw all his kids at essentially the high school pro day to see for colleges to come look at him and stuff like that. He changed his tune because he's like, I'm I can. He understood that he can get all these black teenagers who likely wouldn't have an opportunity before these great opportunities. We talked about his whole situation with cheating, and he rightfully acknowledged his mistakes and realized like what happened, and he like talks about it as like his football career had just came to an end and it was coming to an end, and his wife Mama Baker was telling him you should call it quits before you hurt yourself more because he had just gone through a second surgery, and he felt like betrayed, and he went to somebody that he knew wouldn't like betray him in Mama James, and they had an affair, and it was a topic. And but Billy has one of the best character arcs in the series. Like season 3 up, he is one of the best characters in the show.
He
He
is
does
truly the father for
everything.
everyone. He's there for
He
everyone.
he
Like
is there for everybody.
he's honestly
I think
he's
what
almost
really
there too
acknowledged it,
much.
what really like solidified it for me was when Olivia relapsed. One thing we didn't mention with Olivia was that she was a former addict,
Oh yeah,
and
by the way,
she was going through
Olivia
a
character as an addict, really good. Um, uh, really well handled. You know, seemed very human and real, and like that, her
yeah,
being an addict actually has nothing to do with her negatives as a character. Like her being an
yeah,
addict actually doesn't. I mean, it has an
benefits her
effect on her
character a good bit.
character. It shows up a
It
lot
adds an
more
extra layer to
in
her
season
character.
5.
Um,
It comes back
yeah,
in season 5 because
it
of
comes
something that
back
we'll
a
go
couple
into
times. It
very
comes back a couple
shortly.
times, but in season three when she relapses, wait, hold on. When she relapses in season 3, it was like completely different because she was struggling. She had been struggling for a while, but nobody knew it. Nobody knew it, and by this point he's coaching at Crenshaw, and she is and Coach Baker is like furious because he's not furious more so at the fact that she's drinking again. He's furious at the fact that how much he loves his daughter and he's seeing her fail
In
herself
pain.
after all the work she had put in to get clean, to get clean. And Spencer kind of like, and he's like furious, he's like crying and frustrated. And Spencer kind of like tells him, what I think what Liv needs right now is the thought is the note that the confirmation more so that when she comes home after she's like been running away and stuff, that she is um that she's not gonna get like screamed at, yelled at. She's gonna come home to a family that wants to help her. Which I mean, and then Billy's like, she already knows that. She goes, yes, but the frantic calling of all three of you and crying over the phone of like, just come home, come home, come home. We need to deal with this. Is like that's scaring her. And if he does like this, if he calls her, leaves her a voicemail being like, I love you, come home, we will help you, we'll do all this stuff, she's more likely to come home. He does that, she comes home, and they help her. That was a moment for Billy for me where he kind of like listened and listened, kind of took the advice of somebody else, and it benefited him because it got him the result that he needed of his daughter coming home.
Yeah,
Um,
and also for Coach Baker, not here's the thing, for the characters that we put in God's tier, the reason why they're here isn't just because they're such good characters. It's because they make the other characters better. Like the so far, the two that
Coach
we have,
Baker
Coach Baker and Mama Baker, not only are great characters themselves, but they are also the reason why, Spencer, Jordan, Olivia, Coop, these two are the reason why these four are so great, because these two help them. And honestly, I think that's something really really good about the show, is that um a lot of teenage shows kind of just have the adults be there and not be real true adults. This show
parents
feels
are
like this truly feels like the parents in this show are truly there to be parents and help the other kids grow and be more important. Like the entire here's the thing. For life in general, the entire point of life is for the older generation, the adults, to help the younger generation be better than their own generation. You want to always make sure that the ones below you are better off than you were. Make them better than you are. Like me, I'm an older brother. My job is to make sure my little siblings become better people than I am. And these adults make Mama Baker, Mama James, Coach Baker, and Preach. Those four make sure they look out for these kids. They make sure that these kids will grow up into better people than they were. And that's why
and
they're so
and
great.
that's
And
why
they
they're all
all are
like
truly
god
willing to
tier
put everything into
characters.
their lives. Last spoiler warning for
And
season 5 of All American. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen season 5, this is your last chance. We are over an hour into this video. If you have not seen season 5,
last chance,
this is your last chance.
Billy
Okay?
Baker
You're gone? Alright, look.
on
And in Billy Baker's final
Billy
moment,
Baker
he chooses
dies to
Jabari
save
over
one
his
of his
own
football
life. He's
players.
like, Jabari, go. You go first, and you can come grab me.
And Jabari goes, I don't want to lose you, coach. He goes, I'm gonna be fine.
I'm gonna be
And
fine.
Dude probably knows that this is probably where he's gonna perish.
And Coach
And
Baker knows he's gonna die, and so he tells Jabari, "Look, tell my family I love them." And poor Jabari's traumatized.
he's
He is
traumatized
traumatized.
for like a
That
good part
survivor's
remaining
guilt
of
is
season
eating at
5.
him. That is some
Yeah.
insane
So
survivor's guilt.
that's some tough shit to go through. But Jabari, yeah, yeah, and like me and Kenji like talked about it when it first happened. They did his death a bit too well. Um, his death was like almost perfect, and this is where like the point we talked about with Spencer. in his actions. Coach Baker dies. Coach Baker dies, and that's like
Basically
that's like
Spencer's
his
second
second
dad.
father. He
Because,
dies,
like, his
and
first dad
Jordan
left
Olivia
him,
was
came
like
back, and
flank
then
like
died.
flank. Yeah.
And he's like, why'd you have to go and die
So
on me?
like
And he relied on Coach Baker through that. And then Coach Baker.
yeah,
And here's the thing, like,
dies.
for context, I don't remember exactly what, but Coach Baker had called Spencer that day.
To
Be
tell him
like,
that he
hey,
loved him because like they
I
had
love you.
they were in like a they're in a mini fight. He's like, "You're right. I
They're
love
having
you.
an argument
I care for
because
you."
Coach Baker was offered the coaching job that Olivia had taken from the coaching job after Olivia got rid
At
of the
their
first coach.
college,
They had
at
Coach
their
Baker's
college,
like,
and Baker
hey,
and Coach Baker was considering taking it.
yeah, because, like,
And
this is good for me. But Spencer's like, man, you're not just gonna leave them kids here. Like, they need you,
and stuff like that.
like, very
So
bad.
it was
And
a
so they're having
situation
an
like that,
argument.
and
And Coach
a
Baker
part
called him
and
like,
like a
yo,
part
you're
of
right. I love you. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm always here for you if you need
and like
me.
a part of his situation, a part of the whole situation with Spencer and his like trauma was he goes, the last person he called before he died was me, and I didn't pick up. And Spencer's like thinking about, he's like, if I had picked up, I could have saved him. And his therapist kind of goes to him, he goes, you don't know that, man. You can't put these you can't put these possible solutions in your head when you don't know definitively if that's gonna happen. And Spencer, like, he's going through his like, and Spencer, he turns into like a big ass douche throughout like season 5 when he's going through all
Yeah,
this like
no.
trauma and shit.
Season
But
5 honestly, the season 5 Spencer is going through the grief of Spencer and Mama Baker are probably the two who take
losing
losing
Billy the
Coach
hardest.
Baker the hardest. Um,
Like Jordan took it really hard, but he had Layla in
Olivia
his
took it harder
corner.
than
Like by
Jordan.
this one, they were yeah. Olivia took it so much harder because I mean that's her dad. She was a daddy's girl. Um,
She
and like that's
that
her
she
dad.
relapsed in or she felt like she was gonna relapse in season 5.
She felt like she was gonna relapse in season 5, and they had to like. She called Jordan until she like called Jordan and Layla were
Joy.
sleeping together. Um, we're sleeping together in Layla's bed, and they kind of she wakes them up and goes like, "What's up?" And she's like holding a thing of alcohol, and they basically they like basically wake up and like, "Come on, come on, come here, come here, come here," like stuff like that. So Billy Billy's impact on the show went beyond him being alive. He was dead and his impact was there. And I mean, I'm sure that there's going to be a huge impact in season 6 of just the things that he did within the show. Did within the show. And Billy is a phenomenal character. He's a character that has flaws, but
But he
he
grows
learned from
through
his
them.
flaws
He
and he
learns from
grows through
them.
them. And I kind of want to make this acknowledgement statement. This statement. Billy Billy, almost every character in this show has good significant flaws. Has like significant flaws that play a factor into things. And I think it's very underrated how in TV people kind of just assume flaws don't exist. Character flaws don't exist, and every one of these characters have flaws. Um, all right, so but yeah. Now that we're off Billy, it's okay. That was like the main hard part. I'm just gonna toss Mama James in God tier, because she is just the best mom in the series. If it wasn't for
Oh yeah, by the
Mama
way,
James,
so how are
Spencer
we
would be
ordering the tiers? Like God's tier. God tier. Are we
I think
having
God's tier doesn't need to be ordered at all. I think we just toss people in God's tier. We can kind of order great, good, and choke later, but
Well, for me,
but
I'm
God's tier
ordering it. I'm
they
putting
don't need
Mama
to be
James
tier.
first. She is undeniably the goat of this show. She
Spencer would
is
be a
the best
significant
character.
Spencer would be a significantly worse character if Mama James didn't exist.
She would be significantly worse
Like,
person. Mama James literally helped for. I don't know exactly when. Um, I don't know exactly when Corey left, but for most of Spencer's life and all of Darnell's, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no.
mm,
Wait, is Corey Darnell's dad?
no,
I mean, not Darnell.
but he took
Dylan.
like he's not like his real dad. He's like his villain though.
Who? No, 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 not
He's
Darnell. Dylan. Is
Dylan.
Corey
No,
Dylan's
Dylan
dad?
is that's Dylan's Corey's. It's Corey's kid.
Okay. Well,
They
still.
revealed that the episode Dylan died. Corey died.
Okay, but still. Like for most of her kid's life, she was a single mom of two,
Yeah,
basically three kids. She's basically Coop's mom. Okay, because Coop's mom's
yeah,
homophobic.
because Coop's mom
Oh yeah, by the
is
way, Coop's a
a whole
lesbian.
other character.
Um, Coop's mom is homophobic, which is kind of just the main thing you need to know. Like Coop's family is
They
in the
played as
church.
just because she's Christian.
Yeah, Coop's family is in the church. Um, Coop's a lesbian,
Heavily involved in it.
heavily involved in church. Coop's a lesbian. Mama James, she ally. Um, she don't care. She loves Coop. Coop is effectively her third kid. Um, and Mama James is just I could literally go on for another whole hour just gushing about Mama James.
Yeah,
Now,
we don't got that.
she
We don't
has
got
her
that much time.
flaws. Her character flaw, I don't know, is that like look, all the Jameses are stubborn. That's her character. Like she can be
Yeah,
stubborn. Um I feel like most of the show is just showing the stubborn strength of black people. I love you black people, but god, we are some stubborn motherfuckers.
yeah. I think her like getting together with Carter was really good. Despite like their early like tension, in the fact that Carter wanted to kill athletics at that school and turn it into just like this top flight education school, and her kind of like basically making him realize the fact that that like black people can succeed off of both being smart and athletic, or having one or the other, and we like I understand that Carter's whole thing was like he had trauma from the football team bullying him as a teenager, but it's not fair on him pushing that onto this new generation of kids who aren't the same exact way as they were back then. But yeah, we can't really like go in much. We've already been at this for like almost 2 hours. Um
No, not almost 2 hours. It's been an hour. Hour and 13 minutes
uh
as of right now.
so let's kind of who do you want to tackle next? I
Well,
guess
next I
Asher.
have Olivia. Not Olivia, Layla.
You mean Layla?
Fuck, you've got me mixing it up now, motherfucker.
Layla. We already kind of
Oh, how
talked
I
about
feel about
how
Layla.
her end her ending, like her new character is her dating Jordan, and she's a music producer. She kind of like picked up on what her dad does in being a music producer, mogul,
Nepo
whatever.
baby.
And um I would say she's not, because she didn't take her own dad's company. She started her own.
Yeah, but her dad was like effectively Dr. Dre.
Yeah. No, that's so funny you say it like that, because the way they talk about her dad in the show, bro's just Dr. Dre.
Like
But
Dr. Dre. Like so, like yeah, like
Like
Layla is very, very interesting.
her
Um,
early character was very
bitchy.
good, I would say. She was very bitchy. Her character, like season 1 and 2, when she was like dating Spencer, was a pretty good character because I think she was a
All
good
right, look,
foil to
this is
Spencer.
this is really shitty of me to say, but like low key, a lot of the women, her and both Olivia and Layla, have this thing where they're kind of were better characters when they were dating Spencer. Shitty as that is to
Yeah,
say.
Layla got better when she started dating Jordan, because she like clearly loves
Like,
Jordan, and that's not
look,
to say like
this
she didn't
show
love
is
Spencer,
kind of bad at writing women who aren't in a relationship, like the teenage women who
who
aren't
aren't in a
currently
relationship
in a
with
relationship.
one of our main characters. Because Layla for a long time, Layla's pairing was Coop, because her and Coop were like trying, like Coop wanted to make music, Layla wanted to be a mogul, a producer. Their wants kind of aligned up, and they kind of stayed firm on that. And then they kind of got into this whole girl power of we hate Spencer because Spencer played with Layla's emotions by. So we kind of already mentioned Vegas. When they went to Vegas, Spencer and Layla were not dating. Were not dating, but Layla clearly still loved and wanted to be with Spencer, but she felt like Spencer was hiding some stuff from him that
Oh
he shouldn't
yeah,
have.
I remember now.
And then they go to Vegas. This is kind of like this whole Vegas situation happens between season 2 and 3. I believe it's
And it's
season
kind
two
of
and
talked
three.
about a whole
Yeah,
bunch before it was revealed what happened.
yeah. They all we knew is that they went to Vegas and something happened in Vegas. We come to find out that like basically like
Jordan gets
15 to 30 minutes, Jordan gets married, and like basically 15 to 30 minutes before sleeping with Layla and essentially getting back together with her, Spencer tells Olivia that he loves her, and that creates a controversy when she finds out. And that's like when we that's what kind of also alludes to the fact that Spencer played with Layla's emotions incorrectly, and he like full on like when he's like in his like he's like in his like sad state the next morning, and Dylan comes home. Dylan's like, "What's up, man?" He goes, I play with a girl's emotions, and I play with a girl's emotions I really cared about, and I messed up." Which I mean, that's good on his part, but then Layla turns into this character who's like, "Fuck the world," because because she gets
Just
mad at
thinking everyone
Olivia
has it out
for
for
not.
her.
She gets mad at Olivia for like not. Um, she gets mad at Olivia for not telling her what happened between her and Spencer. And like when Olivia basically calls her out saying, "You only started liking him after I told you I kind of had a crush on him, and you like swooped in and started dating him after you broke up with Asher for being an a-hole." And we'll get to Asher in a second. And then Layla kind of like tries to come back at it like, "Well, you dated Asher," and she goes, "It's completely not the same thing because you were in a relationship and basically homie hopped." Like it was so fucked. And
Wait,
so
when
then
did
Layla gets
Olivia
into
date
this character
Asher?
arc.
Oh, at the beginning of the show.
Well, it was like tail end of it was back when like tail end of season 1 throughout most of 2, early
Wait,
into
wait, wait. Hold
3.
on. Who was Asher dating at the beginning of the show?
Layla.
Oh,
Layla
okay.
and Asher
Okay.
were dating
Sorry, I was trying to
like the first
remember
like 4 or 5 episodes.
how many girls Spencer has stolen from niggas.
Yeah. Um
Did Spencer steal Olivia from
it's
anyone?
no, Spencer and Olivia like started dating like a bit after the a bit after the whole Layla Spencer situation. But then Asher and Olivia were still dating for like a good couple more episodes, and then they broke up because Olivia was insecure about the coach's daughter at Beverly and like her
Oh
friendship
yeah,
with Asher.
Vanessa.
Yeah, that's her name. But
She's an interesting
we'll
character.
get into we'll get into Asher in a second. But I think Layla is a good character. I think she has like her really poor moments, but she's like bordering for me.
I'm putting her
She
in.
had
I
because
say I kind of don't
really,
like her. I don't know.
I
Olivia's
think
weird.
her character turnaround is something to kind of keep note of because like her character for a long time she wouldn't even speak to Spencer, which I mean made sense, but then she kind of like got a little bit upset at Coop when forgave Spencer for what like they went through because she felt like Coop was like the only person
Yeah,
validating her
but
feelings about
then Layla with the
Spencer.
patient stuff.
Yeah, and then that white girl comes into Layla's life.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Miko.
yeah, and like almost kills her, or like
Patience.
almost commit. She like about to commit suicide, and she wants Layla to do it with her, which
Oh,
is
that white girl.
wild.
Sorry, the other white girl. The other crazy white girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna
that
put.
was a whole situation.
Look, you can put Olivia at like the bot. You can put Layla at the bottom of good. I have her in eh. I don't. I'm not a huge Layla fan. If I'm being
Yeah.
completely
I think
honest.
her character turnaround with her in Jordan is something to take note of. I think in season 6 she's gonna become a better character.
Yeah, I think
Um,
season 6 is gonna be make or
I
break
have
for her. But as of right now, specifically,
I have a sneaky suspicion. I have a very sneaky suspicion that she's gonna get pregnant in season 6. That's a completely different scenario. Um, but speaking of getting girls getting pregnant, Asher.
Roid
Um,
boy. No, I feel like
okay,
we
so
forget. I feel like we just forgive the fact that this nigga took
he did
Roy because he
steroids.
was jealous of Spencer.
He has taken steroids. Like like no doubt. Like he's taking steroids, and it was all out of like a selfish type
That's
of
why
thing
his
for
heart's
him.
probably fucked up. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is why his heart's fucked up.
So let's kind of like break it down. Asher to start off was like Beverly's best receiver. He in his sophomore season they
Wasn't he a
kind of talk
star
about in his
tight
sophomore
end?
season.
Oh no, he was a wide
No,
receiver,
he's
not
a
a
wide
tight end.
receiver. They kind of talk about in his sophomore season he broke Beverly's receiving yards record and was like this
Then get
big
broken by
deal.
Spencer.
Yeah, it got broken by Spencer. It was like this big deal, and Spencer James comes in and just like clearly better than him. Um, which is like clearly better than him, and like Asher takes offense to it. There's like a scene in like episode 2 or 3 when we meet
Nigga's
Asher's dad.
borderline racist
Uh,
towards Spencer.
he's like drunk. Asher's dad is drunk, and he goes up to Billy and was like, "So I hear that this new wide receiver of yours is gonna be taking over my son's spot. My son isn't your star." And he goes, and Billy's just like, I'm not talking about this right now." And he like slams his drink and goes, "My son is the best player you got. You're gonna make him play and do all these things." But Asher's like a pretty big douche. He tries to sabotage Spencer. That's like another thing we can talk about with Layla. Layla tried to sabotage Spencer early on. Tried to
And
sabotage
Jordan.
Spencer early on.
And
And
Jordan.
Jordan, pretty
Jordan, Spencer,
yeah,
no,
and Jordan.
Jordan, Layla, and Asher all tried to, you know,
Um
sabotage him.
yeah, try to like try to try to get like Spencer in trouble because he was like the new kid on the block. Jordan was more like jealous of the fact that he was
Jordan was jealous
like
because of
him and
his
his
dad.
dad were like getting along,
Asher was
and
jealous.
Asher and Layla. Asher was jealous because Spencer was better than him, and Layla got involved because Asher was her boyfriend at the time, and
They really set fucking Spencer up with that
um
fucking party.
yeah, they try to get him. They try to drug him and get him in trouble, but
No, they try to get
but
him
yeah,
drunk. I don't think they try to drug him.
yeah, drunk. Um,
Drugs
But
is
Asher has like this
drugs is the
big
next
character turn.
character.
Asher has this big character turn because he realizes football is his life. He loves football. He wants to play football,
But he
and
can't
all
play
these
anymore because
things.
of his heart.
Well, that this is before the heart. He he ends up taking steroids, and they find out about him. He finds
I
out
think
about him, and this
Olivia
is like
was the one who
another
found out
moment. And
first, right?
yeah, Olivia was the first one to find out. Olivia took it to Coach Baker, and
Yeah, okay, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. Olivia is the snitch of this show. I realize this bitch snitched on everyone
but
for like
but
everything.
this situation was like warranted because she was it
No,
was
no, no,
more so
no.
because she was
I'm
dating
not saying
Asher at this
snitch
point. She was I
derogatorily.
know
I just mean like
I know what
she
you
just
mean.
like
I know what you mean.
a
But
snitch in
by
general is the
this point,
word. Like Olivia is the motherfucker
her
who always
and
finds out everyone's secrets and is like, "Hey, yo, you gotta tell people, or I will."
yeah, like
That's kind of
Asher
her character,
like
and
she
that's
cares
kind
for
of
Asher at this
why her
point.
character is very controversial.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, Asher is a character. Um. And then then in season 3 and 4,
They're
his
staying
whole
Miss Grove,
character
Vanessa.
like motivation they never start dating. She wants to date him, but he never like goes through with it because he's dating Liv, and then also when they break up, he's kind of like I don't it doesn't feel right to do it. But so like Coach Montez, the new coach of Beverly, kind of sees it from day one with Asher. Like he's a okay guy, all right guy, and all that stuff. But they want him to she just wants him to do better. I think my biggest thing with uh with All American, with Asher specifically, he has a character turn where he realizes he can't play football anymore. He has a heart condition that's not gonna allow him to play football. So he goes to the college that Coach Montez's husband coaches at, and kind of built his way up to being a part of the coaching staff. And by the end of season 5, he's like what the wide receiver coordinator, like the wide receivers coach. He's something. He's like officially becomes a coach of the team, and it's clear that he's gonna work himself up to being offensive coordinator, and then probably head coach when the coach like retires or whatever.
But that does cause a bit of conflict when he's like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna need you to get the dirt
Because
on your best friends."
Jordan, Spencer, and JJ live together, and JJ and Asher go to this one school. Jordan and Spencer go to another, and they play each other inevitably, right? And
Yup.
like the weirdest beef, huh? Wait, what? Sorry.
What?
The weirdest beef in all of season 5
Huh?
was
Oh
was
yeah, it was
was
Asher and JJ
was
versus Spencer and
no
Jordan.
well, the weirdest beef in all of season 5 was when Jordan read Asher's computer and his scouting report on Jordan, and he gets like kind of mad at it, and I'm like, okay, why are you
I mean,
why are you reading it in the first place? But that was the weirdest beef. But Asher meets this girl that really like changes him as a person, and we find out like she's like super sick. She has like all these hospital things, and he's like super supportive of her. She's super supportive of him. and we find out that she's pregnant, and that Asher's gonna be a dad. And I think it's revealed at the very end that he's gonna have a boy, that he's gonna have a son, and how Asher is Asher's a good character by the end of the series. By the end of season 5.
No, yeah,
Um,
no. Asher has the the biggest turnaround of dickhead, you don't like Asher to he's a pretty honestly by the end of season 5, I kind of liked him more than Spencer. I kind of liked him the most out of the four main
yeah,
boys.
he was a good character. He's a very good character. I think he out of like everybody, he's the most ready to be a dad. Um, to be a dad, he's probably like the most responsible and stuff like that.
Like
I would put Asher in
I would put
great
Asher in great.
because of his later season. Yeah.
Because honestly,
Um.
he's
J-
he kind he's like he's the most real. He's kind of the most realistic one and kind of the most chill. Like he's like guys he's kind of the voice of reason of hey
yeah.
guys, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all are acting crazy right now. So he's kind of the one
Yeah.
to mellow out the rest of the cast. He's pretty good.
Yeah. JJ's a whole different story. Um, one of
His character was kind of just
JJ
comic
is.
relief for the longest. Oh,
I
but
think
like DJ said
JJ.
earlier in the show, earlier in the episode in this thing, this show tackles a lot of real world issues, and each character is kind of each character
Going
sees
through
themselves.
something at some point.
They'll eat this show will use the characters to talk about a real life problem. And so for season 5,
Yeah.
Asher's was party culture in college. And Asher's
Yeah.
thing was that he was
JJ.
a party guy. He was he was doing drugs.
We were talking about JJ.
Yeah, JJ. That's what I'm saying. He was
You
doing
said
drugs.
Asher.
Sorry. He was doing drugs, drinking alcohol. He was drunk to Coach Baker's funeral party thingy, and that was a huge
He
thing. And he
can't
was
at
like,
least
"Yo,
buzzed. I'm not fully sure if he was drunk. He was at least buzzed. Um,
still,"
and
and
like
he's
you
like,
can tell, like
"Yeah,
he's going through some type of shit.
he's going through stuff personally, and they haven't try and have an intervention for him. He's like, nah, you guys are lame. I don't need help. Fuck out of here." Um,
And they finally corner him in his parents' home when they because they
yeah,
haven't seen him in a while. And I think also a big thing about Asher, like kind of reaching out to JJ. Asher works for the football team that JJ plays
JJ's
for,
playing for.
and Coach Mont and like the coach of the football team goes like, "Look, your friend here really pulled some strings to get you a second chance, and I don't give third chances, so take it." And it's like this is like around the time where JJ is kind of like, okay, I gotta get back clean, and he leaves the frat that he kind of like hangs out at. He leaves it because he is realizing how like damaging they are to him, and like also, but Asher, but JJ is such a good character. I think a big moment in the series was when
Yo, he
is when
called out
they kind of
the
like cornered him
entire
in his
gang.
house.
He had a Halloween party at
Yeah,
his house because everyone was having their own beef and shit throughout all of the stuff, and
yeah. He goes. I just wanted to bring us all together and show each other why we are friends with each other,
yeah, it was
and
like a
for
murder
one night
mystery
you guys couldn't
party
even
and
do
trying to
that.
figure out
Yeah,
who killed JJ.
yeah. And
And
he's like, for one night you couldn't do this one thing for one night, and like
I just
JJ
want to be
also kind of like
friends.
moves out. Yeah, and JJ moves out of the house of that him, Spencer, and Spencer, Jordan, and Asher were living in. He moves out because he's like, none of you guys respect me, none of you guys think of me in any kind of way, and
And then he
stuff like
starts
that. And
partying.
it's like he like starts partying again and drinking and doing drugs, and
But the
he
thing that
when he finally kind of like
also
try
the
when he tries to
party
snaps out of it.
the thing that snaps him out of it is that he watches a guy overdose because of fentanyl. Um, he gets a
Yeah,
drug. It was laced with fentanyl. He ODs and dies like in front of him while he goes and try and get
yeah,
help.
and
And that's
that's kind of
like
like snaps him out of things. And there was like a very impactful scene where JJ is like, you can tell he's hurting. He's been like going through stuff, and Jordan, Spencer, and Asher like show up to his house and be like, "What's going on with you?" And he's like, "I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine." And you can clear something like guilty on his mind. So they bring Olivia, and he like sits there and he apologizes to Olivia for his actions and stuff like that. And Olivia's like, "Look, Jordan," like she goes like, "Look, JJ, I will always love you. You're a guy, but you need to get the help that you need." And she's like, "You're talking to somebody who who like has gotten the help they needed and stuff like that." And so that was a really impactful moment for JJ's character. He's kind of getting back on track to like who he was, who he was. I don't know if he's a great character. I'm gonna put him in good, but
I'm putting him in good.
because we don't get enough of JJ as a character. To be frank, we don't get enough of him as a character throughout the series, um, to really acknowledge a lot of things. But
But
he
he
has a
is
lot of
goaded.
moments.
He's also goaded comedy relief. He's hilarious.
He's a great comedian. Um, Patience, I also kind of want to put in good. Predominantly, you don't get enough of her, and then she has like the whole situation throughout season 5 where she is very she's a singer. She works with Layla. Their whole
Patience's
situation is
character arc is basically to talk about parasocial relationships.
yeah, and that becomes a problem. There's not much we can really talk on Patience. She dates Coop for majority of the series.
Honestly,
Um,
here's the thing: if Patience could be a great tier character, but we just don't have enough on her. Personally,
Yeah. Like with JJ, like JJ and Patience are the definition of we got more of them as characters, they probably being great. But we just don't have
I
enough of them
think
as
I think
characters.
Patience is a better character than JJ though.
I can agree with that. Um all right, we got the person who can suck on a dick, fucking Tyrone, the main antagonist for like majority of the show. Um
For the first like 3 seasons,
yeah.
he gets Sean
and
killed.
then
He
like
gets
and then like
Spencer shot. He gets
his sister comes in
oh
and
yeah,
like be's the antagonist for season 4.
Monique.
But his sister, yeah, Monique, he gets Sean killed after Sean like basically gave up all his money. Like Sean's like, I want out the gang, and he goes, what do you mean? He goes, and he gives Sean like gives him all his money to be like, okay. And then basically he like tells he tells like the an opposite gang where he's at and blames him for a death that he didn't even do. Sean for a death he didn't even do to get heat off him, and gets him killed. Like what the fuck? And like that's like a what the fuck moment. And then after that, and after all that, he gets Coop shot. He tries to murder Coop multiple times. He gets Preach arrested a couple of times. He gets Preach arrested. He orders a drive by on Spencer that he barely lives from. I mean, he did a whole bunch of shit. I mean, he's a good antagonist. You do hate him, like you
Yeah,
do actively hate the dude. Like he did his role correctly and made himself a good antagonist. But still, it's kind of like, man, it's just It's some horse shit, and I don't like him. I don't like him, which again is the point. He did a whole bunch of shady shit. He threatened to shoot up Dylan's birthday party because it was at a park that he claimed as his territory. Like a
Yeah,
kid turning 13, a kid turning 13,
Tyrone
he threatened to
is
shoot it
like
up.
the embodiment of like gang violence and shit. How
Yeah,
like the gang.
he taught he proved he's like the definition of like the people who are like gangs are all bad. Which I mean, there's two parallel gangs in the show. There's Tyrone's gang that's like money laundering, doing a whole bunch of shit, selling drugs and all this shit. And then you got the other gang that's kind of like doing shit for the community. Being a guideline for the community, helping everybody in Crenshaw do better. Like they do community breakfast. They get kids all these backpacks and pencils and stuff so they can go to school and get an education. I mean, they show the duality of gangs in the show, and he's the leader of the very bad one. That's the last character.
No, I have Dylan.
Dylan, we don't see enough. You can just slide him in good. He's Spencer's little brother. He
He's Spencer's little brother. I mean, he's a good character.
he
He
has
does a lot
he
more
has like his
later.
bit of slides. When he gets older,
Um,
he does a lot more, and
he does a lot more when he gets older. He's
I'm
funny though.
also I'm 90% sure he's gonna date Preach's daughter. Um,
Probably.
I already like sprinkled those seeds, but yeah. Um,
But yeah, I just
that's
want to
all we
know
got.
real quick. If there was an extra, if there was a slot for Preach, he would be in God tier. Um,
Yeah, Preach is a very good character. He was the character that Coop needed to like get her out of the situations that she was in. But um, thank you guys for watching us talk about one of our favorite shows. I'm gonna be doing a lot of this stuff solo. Personally, I'm gonna be doing a
unless
lot of
it's
this
a
stuff,
show
but I'm
that
gonna bring
I've
on
also
Kenji.
seen.
We've Yeah, I'm gonna bring on Kenji from time to time, kind of to kind of like
We'll do
break
Cobra
things
Kai
down
after
and
season
stuff.
6 drops, for sure.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're waiting on Cobra Kai. It's gonna be the last season. Like we would do Cobra Kai now, but we've gotten that confirmation. It's the last season of Cobra Kai. Might as well just wait a bit. We're gonna probably have to wait a year, but oh well. Um,
uh,
but
I
yeah,
think the only. Will you do one on Jane the Virgin?
I'm debating it. I'm debating it. I probably will end up doing it, but it's gonna be us just trashing a lot of characters. That's fine. Um, yeah. Thank you guys for watching the first episode of me talking about movies and TV shows I really enjoyed. Um, be on the lookouts for I don't know when a video where I'm going to sit here and spread Cars 2 propaganda for an hour straight.
Oh my
Um,
fucking god.
all right, all
Oh
right.
god.
Love you guys. Thank you
Love
guys
you
for
guys.
watching.
I'm gonna talk to DJ about having him figure